the 8th graders, sometimes after graduation, they would have parties. And guys, they like to prank call the teachers. I know that just shocks you. So anyway, this one time the phone rang, 3 o'clock in the morning. So I go, "Yeah." And I said, Joe goes, "You getting that?" I said, "No." I said, "We're just going to let it go and hope they don't call back." And they didn't call back. So I get up the next morning and I'm thinking, I wonder if there's caller ID on that call. It was my daughter's phone. She was at the time working, the one that ended up in Miami, but she's back here now. She worked at a bar. She was a bartender. And she called me at 3 in the morning. And I didn't get up out of bed to answer her phone. Well, I felt about that big. I thought I lost Mother of the Year, like for the next 50 years. And, you know, what had I done? First of all, a kid calls you at 3 in the morning. It's not a good thing. And I was beside myself that I didn't get my lazy self out of bed and answer the phone. So anyway, it was a Sunday morning, and Joe says, "What are we going to do? Do we go over to her apartment? Do we, you know, what do you want to do?" I said, let's just wait a while. And so anyway, I go, "Let's go ahead and go to Mass." So we went to Mass. And when I got there, my mind was just scattered. I could not contain a thought. So anyway, there happened to be little cards in the pew this Sunday, and it had a prayer on it. And I thought, okay, here, I'm going to pray. This is going to help. So I'm reading this, and I could not focus. And it took me, I'd say 6 or 7 times to get from the beginning of this prayer all the way through to the end and focus on what it was. And at the bottom it says, "Say this every day for the next week." And I picked it up, I flipped it into the corner of the pew. I was like, I actually almost said crap. And I thought, great, yeah, Father wants to hear the religion teacher cussing in Mass. I was just beside myself. And in the meantime, Father Farrar was a priest at the time who had come into my classroom, so I knew him well. And he has this homily. And I'm sure this man was absolutely brilliant. I could not remember one word he said. I couldn't focus on what he was saying because I was so into myself at that time. And so I'm, you know, it's like, do I leave Mass and go to, you know, I said, no, I'm not going to leave Mass. But I was still just beside myself. So, and my husband has a great way of going, this is a kid thing. You tell me what to do. Whatever you want to do, we'll do it. So if I wanted to leave, if I wanted to go over to a apartment, whatever it was, I decided and would go. And all of a sudden, between the offertory and the consecration, I had the most peaceful feeling come over me. I wasn't worried anymore. I knew she was fine. I wasn't going to worry about it. It was just the most wonderful feeling I'd ever had. And so we go home. And I have this thing with my kids. If I call you and you don't answer, just know I want you to call me back. If I call you twice, call me back now, that it's something important. Well, in the meantime, I'd called Christy several times. Like once I woke up and saw it was her phone, I called her, she didn't answer. Multiple times before we went to Mass, I called. So probably by the time she got around to seeing her phone, there were probably at least 10 calls on there from the house. But anyway, got home, checked voicemail, no message. This was no, she had a cell phone. But well, I guess we used our landline. So anyway, she called, or eventually called, because when we got home from Mass and I called, she still didn't answer. Joe goes, "You want to go over?" I said, I still had this wonderful feeling inside me that I knew I didn't have to worry about it. I said, "No, she'll call us. Let's not worry about it." He looked at me like, that's not the person who was talking to me earlier today, but okay. And pretty soon she called. She goes, Mom, I just looked at my phone. I am so sorry I didn't call you back. I said, well, I just want to know why you called me at 3 in the morning. She goes, what? I said, the phone rang at 3 in the morning, and when I checked up caller ID this morning, it was you. She goes, oh, I must have butt dialed you. It's like, oh, really? But it was that sense of peace. The Holy Spirit telling me, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. You don't have to worry anymore. And I didn't. But it was the best feeling I think I've ever had before or since. That I knew everything was fine. I didn't know why she didn't call. I didn't know what she called about. I didn't know anything. But I knew it was fine. And that was the Holy Spirit saying, well, I think he probably thought I was going to blow up in mass or something. But it just, okay, trust. If I would have had that trust to begin with, that would have made my day a whole lot easier. But I didn't. The Holy Spirit had to get me and go, stop. Stop. Relax. Trust. It's going to be okay. And it was. And it was. So with that, I do want to, oops, no I don't. I do want to tell you congratulations that I hope you find the Holy Spirit and allow Him into your life and allow Him to guide you and direct you along the way.
Thank you.
1 minute over.